Hello everybody, welcome back to the Yotso Tech Tracks YouTube channel. This is the follow-up to the suspension lift install I'm doing on the front end of this 2016 Ram 1500 truck. This is day 2. Yesterday, from the previous video, if you guys are following along, I took apart basically the suspension in the front and removed the parts I'm going to be replacing. For example, this upper control arm is the replacement for the old stock ones. And I've taken apart the coilover assembly and I've installed these spacers on top, which will give this truck roughly a 2-inch lift. I can show you this spacer. It's a machined billet aluminum spacer. They have many different designs in this vehicle: plastic, steel. I've seen all kinds of different shapes of aluminum. Some of them are stainless steel. I've gone with these ones because they were pretty inexpensive. I forget how much they were. I bought them when I was looking around, and these popped up as I think $50–60 Canadian. And if you guys can see, I have to be careful I don't knock these down. The paint is still drying on the springs. I'm going to apply a second coat soon. These are roughly 1¼ inch tall, but because of the geometry of the suspension, or these shock absorbers mounted a lower control arm, it does drop it down 1¼ inch on the mounting surface. However, it's going to give roughly a 2-inch suspension lift at the wheels, which is what I wanted. Not too much, not too little. It's pretty much a little bit of a suspension lift for going off-road and not hitting the bottom too much, and without having to worry about CV joint angles, steering angles, and such. 2 inches is roughly a safe amount you can put on these vehicles. The studs inside are thankfully here, the 3 studs that were used originally to mount. So this assembly is going to get clocked 180 degrees. However, center to center is going to be identical, so it will not affect the function. One thing I wanted to let you know, the studs on this vehicle for the front upper spring mount is roughly 1 inch long. So because these are 1¼ inches long, I did not have to cut any of the studs. They clear and they are flush, because this goes into the coil spring bucket on the front of the truck, which is flat and smooth, so no modifications needed there. With this kit, again, I mentioned in the previous video a couple of months ago, it did not come with any washers. I always like to put on washers for all the hardware. I have tons of that, as you guys can see here, just collected over the years. So everything is going to get a washer. All the bolts, nuts are thread locked, and hopefully it won't come loose. This control arm, you guys can see in the video, this is from ProComp. The second one is already in the box. I greased all the bushings up, and I just want to put everything away before all the dust settles on it. Looks like it's going to rain heavily anytime soon, so I cannot start today working outside. I'm just doing whatever I can inside. I greased the bushings. I press them in by hand. It's very easy. As in most kits, these do come with these little tiny grease bottles that you can squeeze out and you can lube up the bushings. However, it's hardly ever enough. I had to use my own high temperature waterproof grease. You can get it at any hardware store. I did grease everything up properly, and these control arms do have grease fittings for future greasability. This does have a uniball. I believe it's an 1¼ inch uniball. It's a stainless steel ball, and quite inexpensive to replace and to remove. In the future, if this does wear out, it is a wear item, much as a ball joint. However, this uniball has a surface area that's much greater than the size of the original upper control arm bar joints. 20,000 kilometers, it's still not horrible. I can feel a little bit of looseness. It's still okay for what it is. The bushings look okay. There's no cracking. There shouldn't be any with this much mileage. Once again, these trucks have a weak upper control arm design, where the ball joint does have a tendency to come out of the control arm with extreme use, angles, off-road situations, larger tires, you name it. And this is something that's going to wear out. And as far as I know, don't quote me on this, guys, but you have to replace the whole upper control arm if you want to replace this ball joint. So because I'm taking everything apart, now is the time to dig into these parts that are going to be pretty much in the future a wear out item. So hopefully I'm going to get a lot of life from these parts. Once again, these control arms, I mentioned in previous videos, they do come with aluminum caps that seal the top end of the uniball, so all the crap, dust, dirt doesn't get inside it. I need a special lubricant for this because of the Teflon liner inside, but it is just a spray bottle. Once in a while I'm going to pop this off, spray it, cycle the suspension, and I might even make a cover for the bottom just to keep some of the debris out, because these parts do live a very harsh life right beside the wheel, and every time the wheel spins, picks up dirt, throws dust, dirt, road grime all over the place. So I'll let you guys know how this goes. If the rain doesn't come down, I'm going to go outside and install some of these parts. As soon as these coilover assemblies are in the vehicle, I'm going to put a second coat of paint on them. Just a regular can of POR 15. If you guys are wondering, this is a high temperature paint. Not that I need it, but I had it laying around. They have all kinds of POR 15 paints: gloss, high gloss, semi-gloss, and I'll let you guys know how it goes. So thank you for watching. See you next time on the Yocho Tech Tracks YouTube channel. Bye bye.